We love it. Love Island All-Stars is back with a host of familiar faces returning to the villa, so expect romance, beautiful bombshells, and plenty of drama.
You were loving it last night.
Last night I was loving it. I was forgetting people, and then you go, oh, I remember her, remember him.
And before we chat to the Love Ireland superfan, Orlaith Condon, good morning to you. Orlaith, it's great to have you with us. Let's take a look at how it all kicked off.
We have a whole load of islanders heading back to sunny South Africa.
I'm Curtis from Series 5. Me and Maura ended up at the end together, and then, yeah, that didn't work out.
Oh, here comes trouble. So, girls, one at a time, I want you to hand a red flag to one of the boys that you think deserves it most.
It's an obvious decision.
I'll take it from you with pleasure.
There you go.
Thank you.
I have mixed feelings about you.
I know, but...
Like, because as in, like, it's nice to see you, but I also think it was...
Our first all-star couple of the series, Kaz and Curtis. Which means, Gabby, you have been coupled up with Marcel.
Wow!
You all know that it wouldn't be Love Island if there wasn't a night one twist. Welcome back, Ekin-Su. Bombshell energy.
Wow,
Yeah, there
the
she
All-Stars. Right, go on, Orla. Tell us first impressions.
Guys, what a good cast. I will say, season 1 All-Stars, when they announced the cast, didn't get me, like, hooked. I thought, look, we'll probably watch it anyway because I'm a loser and I'm going to watch it anyway. But this cast was announced and I was like, oh, they're hitting all the sweet spots here. We've got a lot of people from seasons 2 to 5, which was the real heyday of Love Island.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of old school fans who might have drifted from the show in the last couple of seasons, feeling that compulsion, pulling them back in again.
I recognise a lot of them, and I would have been myself and Lucy in those early days.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple of bad people who kind of stirred up those early seasons.
Some of my least favourite humans who have ever been on this show have been brought back for this season, and I don't know how I'm going to cope with it, but I'm incredibly excited to see all these people who have socialised and worked together for the last couple of years.
They all know each other outside. They go to the same events. They do all this thing, which we'll get to in a minute. But first of all, Gabby and Marcel.
Yes.
They were a couple. They survived afterwards, and then they were coupled up because they split up. And yet the public put them together last night.
I mean, were we expecting anything less from Love Island fans? Absolutely not. They were probably the biggest news story going into this series. They got together in season 3. They were together for the predominant of the series. I made it all the way to the final. They were a hugely loved couple. This was the season of Kem and Amber, Chris and Olivia. This was the season of Love Island, and they came off of that. They lasted 10 months after the villa. They cleaned up on all the SponCon they could. And then Marcel cheated on Gabby while they were on holidays. So all of this kind of came up last night. He's also going through a divorce, which is something we have never seen on Love Island.
So that's a first for Love Island, obviously, I think, isn't it?
Yes, so he's the oldest contestant now to ever do the show at 39, and he is currently still married and going through a divorce with his estranged wife. He's also a father of 1.
Yeah.
So where they were when they broke up to where they are now is very, very different places and feels very strange in this Love Island world.
And you heard her talk about having mixed feelings or whatever else there, but they've been coupled up, so that'll be really interesting to see where that goes as well. In terms of Irish connections, Catherine, she's back. She was our
Dubliner Catherine is back, and she had a great
came in
run.
with Curtis.
Sorry,
And
she came
I
in
mean,
with
Curtis.
Oh, really?
For those people who remember Curtis,
This is gas,
like
isn't it?
Catherine was the
Curtis with Maura.
I'd forgot that Curtis was on Dancing with the Stars and lived in Ballymun for 3 years.
Yeah. And I remember this came up on the first season when he was on, because he mentioned there was someone in there that was living in Ireland or was Irish, and he spoke about this as well. And I remember the next day, everyone in Ireland was like, why the hell is Curtis talking about Dublin? He lived here for 3 years, because like you say, he was a professional Dancing with the Stars. So yeah, very familiar. Like, he properly lived here. So certainly a quick bonding kind of
Because we have to think
he
did there was a relationship with Maura.
I mean, everyone
Maura
was talking
Higgins.
about their degrees of separation to Maura Higgins last night. And look,
were they?
she's a superstar. What can we say? Elma was only there, and I love her for acknowledging it, saying that she was famous because she walked in the doors with Maura Higgins, which is probably all we remember her from on her series. Right. And Curtis obviously made it all the way to the final with Maura as well, and had a relationship after the show.
We have a clip, I think, of Curtis talking about Maura. Let's maybe take a little look what he said.
Then me and Maura ended up at the end together, and then, yeah, that didn't work out, clearly. I've seen her a couple of times and said hello, and she's just completely blanked me, but, so I would say perhaps not best friends. Or friends at all, but, yeah.
He was always sound. I always liked him on the show.
No, Tommy, we will not be friends if you defend Curtis. He was one of my least favourite Islanders in the history of this show.
Why?
He drove me demented. And he is so thirsty talking about Maura in his video.
But that is so funny. I love it. But you know what annoyed me about him now? Because they were saying, oh, so when were you last in a relationship? And he said, oh, I split up about 4 months ago. And I went, what, when the producers of this phoned you and said, would you like to come on All Stars?
It's like, let's think realistically. It's been in the goal for a couple of months.
4 months. And so
that break was fresh, you know?
Yeah, I just was going, oh, that's a bit convenient now.
Okay.
Look, I'm also like, get your coin. Get back in there and see what it does for you.
Ekin-Su, we saw her walking in there as well. Big reveal.
Yeah, I mean, look,
bombshell.
Ekin-Su has been famously one of the biggest bombshells that has ever entered the Love Island villa, bar maybe Maura Higgins and herself. But she has had kind of a couple of stints in reality TV since she left Love Island after winning it with Davide. She did The Traders US. She did Celebrity Big Brother on ITV last year as well. Nothing has kind of latched on in the same way that Ekin has with the Love Islander fans. And I think this is a really, really good addition to this series. Ekin knows what the assignment is for this show, and she delivered it massively when she won her season. She's also the first winner to come back this season, so she's talking about how...
So she's obviously not with Davide anymore.
No, that's done. Yeah, no, that's done.
Okay.
Imagine if
that was sweet. They stay together, isn't it?
Yeah. We saw them at some awards.
Yeah.
They were both there. They're all over each other. I was thinking, this is going to last.
Is Davide with anyone?
I don't know. I don't
Imagine
think
if they got Davide.
So people are saying, will they get him in? Which, like, look, I think Ekin-Su is a one-woman show. She doesn't need any
but it'd be
side characters.
brilliant TV.
100%. But I mean, Ekin will make magic where she needs to make magic. Do we remember her crawling across the terrace?
Yes.
Absolutely, we do.
Jeez.
So I'm just excited to see what kind of
So
craziness.
there's a right few characters then. So how long is this going to last?
We don't know. They haven't really confirmed it fully. Gabby made a slip last night about 5 weeks. I mean, you guys tell me, guys. It's on Virgin Media. Well, how long is it going to be on for?
Well, we
don't
can't
tell
tell
us.
you that. We're only telling you it's on tonight. It's on tonight.
It's on tonight on
Virgin Media 2 at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Could go for 5 weeks.
But
push
who knows?
move out of the way of Six Nations.
What are you thinking of it overall as a first instalment last night?
Like, I'm a sucker. Like, every year, I'm like, I'm not doing it. And All Stars last year really proved me wrong, even given my kind of first impression wasn't strong of the cast. So I'm actually really excited. Last year, I preferred it to the main season. So I'm really looking forward to this year. Yeah, because it's all those stories of stuff that happened at events that we don't know about.
And we always talked about Love Island. They were so young. Where now they're a bit older, a bit more experienced. They've been there, done that. Might actually be more fun.
They know the game.
They know the game.
They know what to be doing.
They're more comfortable in this environment. But yeah, 5 of them over 30. So definitely a bigger age diversity there than we've usually seen. So
definitely.
Very interesting. Okay, well, it is available tonight, 9 o'clock. You can watch it live on Virgin Media 2. Orlaith Condon, we'll be watching.
Absolutely,
Thank you very much.